Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Inspirational Corner with me, your host, Stylisha Bolton, where we encourage you here to live bold, live loud, and live authentically without apology. Welcome to a new episode of the Inspirational Corner. I am back. I am excited to be back, everybody. I just had to take a nice break. So much going on. My daughter graduated from high school last month, so I was so consumed with her graduation. And to be honest, I was purely exhausted. The whole month of June, I was exhausted trying to get her together and for us to get everything in order for her graduation. And the same week that she graduated was also the week of my birthday. So it was so much going on in that month that it was just exhausting. And I know I needed to take a step back to rejuvenate myself and take care of me and do what I needed to do to come back refreshed. And I'm glad to be back. Today, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the art of reinvention. There are so many things going on still, and so many things have, I don't want to say forced, but has allowed us to reflect and to figure out where do we want to go on from here. That staying stuck is not an option. Uh, Being mediocre is not an option, but what can we do to move forward? And some of us, like myself, have been faced with reinventing my life and reinventing myself, as well as you reinventing your life and reinventing yourself. And actually, last month, I was faced with the word reinvent, and I realized that I no longer wanted to live the same life that I had been living because, like I stated before, last month I was just purely exhausted. And it seemed like in the last 12 years I would hit a ceiling. Now we know that life is limitless. We don't have ceilings in our lives. We can go and evolve and grow to any dimension that we want to. However, a ceiling is created when there is stagnancy, when there's mediocrity in our lives, or when we are recreating an insanity circle in our lives by doing the same thing over and over again and not doing nothing different. So we're actually getting the same results because we're doing the same things and repeating the same patterns and behaviors in our lives. And I found myself, no matter what was going on, especially in the last 12 years, I would get to a point in my life, and that point would be exhaustion. And I knew that I did not want to continue to go down this road where I'm always exhausted and I'm feeling uptight. In the last 12 years, me and my daughter, we have been through so many changes here. Um, in the last 12 years, after I got out the military, losing my 2 year old, she losing her sister. It was just so much in the last 12 years in this one place where I'm living now. And I realized I hadn't been happy. I've just been down and miserable. But one word that kept on coming up was exhaustion. I was just exhausted with going through the things that I have been through. But now I'm in a great part of my life. I'm in a happier place and I'm in a better place in my life. And I know that it was time for me to take charge and recreate my life in a different way by doing different things and moving in a different direction. And so the week that my daughter graduated, it seemed like all the change seemed to kind of shift. Really, it kind of started really in May, really, that things kind of started shifting within myself, where I had to step back from some relationships and stuff like that and reevaluate what some people roles were in my life and my role was in their life, and just releasing myself and releasing other people, to be who they are, and just releasing everybody to be the grown adult that they were, and stop trying to control everybody and being forceful and everything that what was going on within me. And since that journey started in May, I started to feel lighter, happier, and I started to become a lot more focused on my life. I didn't want to be minding other people's business. I really truly wanted to mind my own business. I actually have an episode that's talking about the joy of minding your own business. You have to check it out. I can't remember the exact episode, but it's called Minding the Joy of Minding your own business. And I really realized that there is such a great joy in minding your own business. And with that said, in this journey, June came, and I realized that I just wanted to have fun again. And I was just sharing with my friend that came down here to celebrate my birthday and my daughter's graduation that it's funny how in my 20s and everything, I was just so excited about the possibilities of life, and I was just carefree and spontaneous about life. I'm a very spontaneous person, but then I realized as I've gotten older that I became so, I became like so uptight. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't happy in my life. And I'm like, why is it that we get older and we become so practical and boring? And it's good to have wisdom, because as you get older, you gain wisdom because of your experiences, but we lose that joy and that passion and that freshness like we had when we were in our 20s. We lose the spunk, and we lose that fire, and we become boring. And I'm not a boring person. I love to have fun, and I love to do different things. And so I was just discussing that with her, and I was like, I can't lose that joy and that spunk and that fire and that sparkle for my life. And so the week of my daughter's graduation, and also it was the week of my birthday, it was so much going on. And so I decided to take a couple of breaks in between, because I didn't want my friend to come down here and I'm have an attitude because I'm exhausted and tired. That would, first of all, that wouldn't have been fair to myself, and it definitely wouldn't have been fair to her or my daughter. But I knew that I needed to take some time out for myself, because I also was celebrating a significant milestone in my life, which was my birthday. And so that week, everything just flowed. I was so excited. And when my daughter graduated, that was the beginning of a new life for me, as well as time for me to take a step back, because I was relieved. It was done. All the exhaustion and stress was over for that part. And I decided to take a week away and go back with my friend in Virginia, where she lived, and I stayed actually a whole week, and I got away, and it was so fun. And instead of driving 6-7 hours like I normally would do, she came down here on the train, and she was just discussing with me about the train ride and everything, and how carefree and relaxing it was. And I realized that's what I needed to do, to go back with her on the train instead of us driving back to Virginia. And I realized that that's what I needed to go in the direction of reinventing myself. That was the first step, meaning of letting go of control. And when I did that, that whole week was like magic. It was like something that I was waiting to happen in my life, like a earthquake, like a awakening to wake me up and to shift me into a new dimension in my life. And after I came back from that week, I realized, and I remember texting her and telling her, you know what, after being on a whole week of vacation and relaxing, I don't want to go back to my old life. I just realized that. I was like, I don't want to go back to my old life. I never really ever took like a whole week. I would do weekends, but to take a whole week away and to celebrate my birthday and to celebrate myself in a whole different place and just take that time off, it really gave me a lot of revelation. And so that's why today I wanted to talk about the art of reinvention, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's going through a phase of reinventing yourself. And so when I looked up in the Webster Dictionary, the definition of reinvent says change something so much that it appears to be entirely new. And to me, when I came back from going out of town, I felt like a new person. And I really wanted to make sure that I would go in the new direction, because I knew I didn't want to go back to my old life of being exhausted, being bogged down with other people's issues and problems, being bogged down with other people's business. I just didn't want that. And so when I came back, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I only talk to my family, let them know, hey, I'm back and everything. And I decided to give myself 2 weeks to still be on vacation, which I'm still on vacation now. Vacation doesn't end until I'm ready for it to end. And this is the summer, so vacation probably won't be ended for me no time soon. So with that said, I took a whole week to rest, and then I was like, let me take another week for self-care. And this is my self-care week, and I still feel like this week I really hadn't done a lot of self-care because I've been taking care of business as well, doctor appointments and stuff like that. So I say, you know what, I'm going to give myself an extra week. Next week I'm giving myself another week of self-care because I deserve it and I need it. And so I never came back in this capacity where I was taking time or taking 2 extra weeks to make sure I'm ready to get back in my routine. And I realized I didn't have to jump back into my routine. I didn't have to just be like, okay, I'm back like I usually do. I get back and I just jump all back into my routine, and then I'm exhausted again. I'm calling everybody, talking to people, listening to other people's issues and problems, just feeling like a garbage can. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that this time. I said, you know what, I didn't want to hear any bad news, any good news. I didn't want to hear nothing from anybody. I didn't want to text or talk to anybody. I just wanted to finally figure out how I was feeling and finally take care of my needs, and just finally figure out, like, what do I need, what do I want, or how I was feeling, and really just tune into myself. And I thought that was so important in this going in this new direction of reinvention. And so with that said, I want to give you 3 steps on how to embrace this art of reinvention, embracing this new thing of reinventing yourself, reinventing your life and your world. And so the first step is reassessing or observing the areas in your life that you want to change. When you do a reassessment and like make a list, a self inventory of all the things that you want to change in your life, that will give you clarity, and then that can be your starting point. And then you can see what you want to change in your inner and outer world within that list. And so for me, it was more so of, I just no longer wanted to be a part of people's business. I just didn't want to be so consumed with other people's life. I wanted to start living my life and living and really truly living in the present moment. Not taking on other people's, like I said before, other people's good news, bad news, or whatever. I just wanted to be in a space where I was just focused on me, focus on my thoughts, focusing on how I feel, how I'm showing up, and just be focused on my present moment. Because like I said before, so many times I would come off vacation, then I jump back into my routine. I'm calling people, talking to friends and family, and I'm just exhausted again because I didn't give myself the time that I needed to just be. And now, because I'm doing that a lot more, and I've really been, like I said, transitioning since May, and since I've been doing that, just really minding my business and not really focus on what other people doing, and you know, and just setting these boundaries for myself. I've been a lot happier. I've been more happier. I've been at peace in my life, and this is the first time in my life I'm more happy now than I ever been in my life. And it's because I know of this power of and this art of reinvention. So after you reassess the areas that you want to change in your life, in your inner and outer world, and after you take your self inventory and make your list, the next step would be focus on one area. Focus on that one area in your life that you want to change, because so often we feel like we got to do it big. We got to do something big in order for us to have a major shift or change in our life. And sometimes with that we can get overwhelmed and we'll go right back to our old habits, behaviors, and patterns because we took on too much. What I have learned and what I have noticed recently and lately in my life, that the tiny shifts and changes have powerful impact in my life. Like the tiny habits and the tiny things that I'm doing to move in the direction of my new life as I'm reinventing different things in my life. Just the small things that I'm doing is helping me shift a lot quicker. So if you focus on one specific area, then you can stay focused on that area, and then you'll be able to reinvent or redesign other areas in your life, because when you're laser focused on that one area, other things will shift with ease and effortlessness in your life. Other areas will begin to shift in that direction as you're going in your new direction. And the third thing is action. Take actionable steps to pursue the new life you want to live. It's so important that you don't just sit still after you do the reassessment, after you focus on that one area and take those small steps in the direction of your new life and becoming a new you. You have to take action. It'll be important for you to take action because nothing can happen if you're just standing still. And there's so many different quotes on reinventing yourself, and you know, and going, you're never too old to reinvent yourself. And I think those things are really important because we'll get to a place in our life where we feel like, oh, I'm too this, I'm too that. And you're never too old, too young, too whatever to reinvent your life and reinvent the brand, which is you. And not allowing what other people say, what other people do, and understand that you're going to outgrow people, things, and stuff. And I think that's what I'm learning the most, that certain conversations are not entertaining to me anymore. Certain things that I even used to do are not entertaining because I am making consistent changes. I'm proactively, intentionally, that's the key word, intentionally making changes in my life. Like I said, when I came back, it was just like I knew I didn't want to go back to my old life. I knew I had to set boundaries in place, and I started to set the boundaries in place with ease and effortlessness because it was something I was already working on kind of in May, and throughout this year, just kind of setting boundaries because I knew that I wasn't setting boundaries with people in my life, and I was just not happy. And the reason I'm happier now because I have boundaries set for myself. I know what I deserve and know what I want, and so it's been a lot easier, or with ease and effortlessness, that I'm flowing in the direction I want to go. And when I came back, I dyed my hair. One of the tiny steps was dye my hair blonde. I was like, I told my hairstylist I need a bold look, I need something different, and so I dyed my hair blonde. That was one small action step. Another small action step while I was on vacation was no longer the body shame or self-hatred against My body, I work really hard on my body. My body has been good to me. I'm healthy. I'm blessed to have every limb, everything, every organ. And so to treat my body with respect and give my body with respect, I said, you know what? And me and my friend, me and her was talking about this while I was in Virginia. Like, we're no longer hiding our body. Some people don't have arms and legs and a body to function in, but they still are joyful. And God has given me all this to function in, and I'm healthy and everything. And I'm up here, don't want to wear a two-piece swimsuit. So we both said those days are over. So we both bought a two-piece swimsuit, and I felt good. And I'm like, I have a nice body. Why I've been hiding my body? What have I been hiding? I work hard on my body. I know I'll never be a size zero like I was back in the day. I'm not, 18, 19 anymore, and I don't want to be that anyway, but I'm okay with where I'm at. I'm happy with the weight that I'm at because I work out and I do a lot of toning. So I don't lose weight, I lose inches. And my body, I have a lot of tone, so I work, I lift weights and stuff like that. So I have more muscle than fat, because that's my goal, to be more tone and to, have the fat to kind of flow away. But with that said, whether it's fat there or not, I'm going to embrace it all. And so I decided to wear from now on a two-piece swimsuit. And now, because I'm embracing that, it has made me a lot more confident and love my body even more. And that was another shift. So with these little shifts that I have made, it has made me a different person. And so I know when I feel stuck, I need to face that mediocrity or face that fear and say, okay, I need to make another shift. And sometimes the shift that you make will cause you to have to go a lot higher in your life, whether it's spending money on yourself. I realize I should no longer never be I don't want to say upset, or just like, I don't want to spend this money on me, or be cheap on myself, whether it's buying new clothes, new hairstyle, whatever it is, whether it's a physical tangible thing or a thing that's not tangible. It doesn't matter. Whatever I do is an investment within myself. And so me not being cheap on myself anymore and saying, oh, da da da, my personal development life, I'm big on personal development. I'm big on my health, holistic healing, holistic health. I'm big on holistic health. So me investing in supplements and everything, those things are not cheap. So I know that's an investment for longevity in my life. So with that, investing in yourself is an important thing. And there's another shift for you to reinvent yourself. And I want to leave you all with a quote. And this quote says, you are always free to reinvent yourself. Shed your conditioning. Discover your magic. Elevate your energy. Own your worth. Become the woman you desire to be. I believe this quote is so powerful because once we understand that we have the power to create the life we want, and learn to take ownership of our life and stop outsourcing our life and outsourcing our power to other people, we will become the greatest, grandest version of ourselves when we learn that we are not powerless, but we are powerful. So I hope you truly enjoyed this episode and that it resonated with you, and that you are empowered and inspired to reinvent your life, to know that it's not an overnight thing, it's a day by day thing. But don't get discouraged, don't give up. The dreams that you want to live, be brave enough to live the life that you want to live. And you're going to outgrow people. Friendships won't be the same, relationships won't be the same, but you know what? It's okay. It is no love losses, no dramas, no disrespect or anything, but you have to do what's best for you. And sometimes outgrowing situations and people and things is a part of the process. So I encourage you to embrace this process And like we always say here at the Inspirational Corner, I empower you and will tell you to live bold, live loud, and live authentically without apology. Until the next time, everybody, have a beautiful, beautiful day.